Some news is impossible to digest, and that was the case yesterday for Anaheim. Mike Trout on the injured list, JP Morosi, and we learned Shohei Ohtani has a tear in his UCL. We have done this long enough. We know exactly what that means. He had Tommy John surgery back in 2018. What does that mean for all parties? And good morning to you.
Laura, good morning. This was obviously the news that none of us wanted to hear. I think my emotions last night were one of concern for Shohei and what this means for his near term and long term, and B, also gratitude for what he's been able to do for so long, because we are reminded now that none of this is promised or guaranteed. The UCL tear, as revealed by Perry Minasian, the Angels GM, after the game, we don't know yet for sure if he's going to have surgery. Obviously, that is one of the options in front of the Angels and Shohei. He will not pitch again for the rest of this season. He does hope to continue playing as a DH. So that is the positive side, I guess, for now, is that he's still able to play. And certainly, as Perry Minasian described this, Lauren, it's just extraordinary that he got the news about the UCL between games and then goes out and has a great game offensively in game 2. He is an extraordinary person, a great performer, great athlete, great ball player, all of these things. And now I think the concern of the baseball family goes to him and wondering what is next. We understand in a larger sense the financial ramifications of what he was likely looking at had he ended the season dominant on the mound and with all the momentum towards free agency. Now, candidly, we don't know. Does he go back to the Angels? Does that make it more likely? These are all questions for another time. But I do think that the last 24 hours have brought a significant amount of sobering news for the Angels. It's not just Shohei. It's also now Mike Trout going back on the injured list because, to simply put, the hamate and the wrist was not able to sustain the demands of hitting right now on the offensive side of things at the major league level. We know how much Mike Trout wanted to be back in the lineup and contribute to this team, try to keep this team afloat in the wild card race. Now it's apparent that he's not going to be able to do that. Shohei now with the pitching component of his value taken away for the balance of the year. This is a tough bit of 24 hours for the Los Angeles Angels, to say the very least. And I think, Lauren, in terms of what this means for Shohei's future on the free agent market, we're going to need weeks and probably months to fully unpack what this means. I just think that it's extraordinary that in a very micro sense, Lauren, that the devastating nature of the news, that Shohei went out there and still played a great game too as an offensive player, just says all that we need to know about his character, how much he loves the game, and just the extraordinary performance and integrity that it's taken for him to perform at this level for as long as he has.
And none of this is promised or guaranteed. I love what you said there. That holds true about life as well, JP. The Giants, half game back of a wild card spot. Those standings, by the way, are nuts, and they get reinforcement in the form of Paul DeJong. Didn't they want him at the deadline? Did I make that up? I was thinking about that when I saw him hit that.
Lauren, you're right. And so with Brandon Crawford now on the injured list, here comes Paul DeJong with a Giants debut for the ages. Helps them win an extra inning game on the road. And I love this detail from Kevin Cooney's story in the Associated Press, that in between the Jays letting him go and the Giants picking him up, he stops home in St. Louis and has a brief hitting lesson with the great Jim Edmonds. Apparently, it worked out pretty well. And Paul DeJong said the lesson was cut short because he had to literally go to the airport and get to Philadelphia. And you see it there, what he's been able to do in just effectively one brief game with the Giants. More home runs, more RBI than he had in 13 games with the Blue Jays, with a credit to brief hitting coach Jim Edmonds. Well done by Jim, and well done by Paul DeJong with that game last night.
Depth is tested. Now they get reinforcement, JP. Is Terry Francona retiring? Because we keep hearing kind of bits and pieces, and I think that if he is, he doesn't want to talk about it because he doesn't want to call attention to himself, because that is the kind of man he is. Do you know anything about it?
Right, Lauren. Well, so some comments this week from Terry Francona, just hinting at how worn down he is, the toll that the job has taken on his body. He stopped short of saying that he's going to retire after this year. He said there will be a time and place to discuss this, and that time and place is not right here, right now. I just want to pause here and reflect on what a great career Terry has had. If this ends up being his last year, he's definitely going to the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Fame person before he's a Hall of Fame manager. And in the midst of all the other topics that we have to get into for baseball in the next month, whether it's retirements or speculation about certain teams and what they might do, let's just make sure we appreciate what Terry Francona has done, and more importantly, how he has represented the game. He is in Cleveland. He's been there for basically a decade and has really taken that team to extraordinary heights, the 2016 World Series. Let's just remember to celebrate Tito, the person, here as we go through these coming weeks. We don't know, again. We don't know what the future holds. Let's just make sure that we have some good words for Tito, because he has done extraordinary things for the game, a friend to so many of us in the sport, and just want to make sure that I say today, thank you to Tito for all that he's done. We don't know what the future holds. We just want to say on this day, thank you for all you have done in the game.
He makes everyone feel important. That's the make of a man. I covered the Guardians last postseason. He's at the Yard at 9 a.m. One of the great baseball men in the game, that is for sure. Never makes it about himself. You are one of the great baseball men. You're also a good sport. If you didn't think that we were going to play this video on loop for the rest of time, JP, you were wrong. How was it?
Oh, it was amazing. And so Lulu and I, there we are, sliding down the hill. Gabby and Elena got me going to do this and said, you know what, Dad, you should go down the hill for the first time. So that was there's Lulu. She now thinks she could be on the show anytime, which might be a bit of a problem, Lauren. But
she can.
So this is now my sixth time at the Little League Classic, first time ever going down the hill. And I appreciate you and Mark and everybody for showing this video of a successful trip down the hill and not the epic fail that was my first time, which might be somewhere in the MLB Central archives, where I tried to get going down and made it about 10 feet because I'm not that good of an athlete. That one might be on there at some point.
We showed the good video, but there were some digs because Robert and D-Rose said, as you're going down the hill, they go, he went to Harvard, and he's doing this. So we showed the video, but a few digs. You're the best. You're the best sport, JP.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Lauren. Thanks, everybody.
Take it away.